Good evening and welcome to another episode of Sportsy. Now I've been kicked off from the middle seat by Lorraine. Welcome, Lorraine.
Hi, good to be in the center stage again.
She's been out for a while and she's finally back and she's taking over the show.
I wish I was, Dion. Don't worry, I'm not taking anything away from you.
And welcome, Jeremy.
Thank you, Dion.
Yes,
you were missing last week, but he's finally back.
Been a while, yeah. The Pacific Games did get to me a little bit.
So the Pacific Games dying down. How do you guys feel, with the Pacific Games gone?
It's not dying down, it's dead. I'm still getting used to the idea of not having to meet deadlines and have to go and cover the, all the games, yeah. But on my 1 week break, I was off in Fiji and, surprisingly, they're still buzzing.
Yeah.
Fiji didn't do as well as they wanted to, but it's all about sportsmanship in the country and patriotism. So coming from Fiji, coming back to PNG, and it's all quiet.
Yeah.
Still getting used to it.
There's a lot of sporting action still happening. We got the Foro Cup coming up. Now, Lorraine, being the one in the sports team that always follows rugby union, tell us a bit about the Foro Cup coming up.
Yes, we've got the Foro Cup coming up at the end of the month. Now it will be held here in Port Moresby. And we've got the guys from Solomon Islands, Samoa, Tonga and Cook Islands. Cook Islands being the defending champions. Now, PNG managed to come second at the last Foro Cup in 2013. So it was held here in Port Moresby at the Rugby League.
It was PRL.
PRL, that's right.
There are new faces that we can expect in the Pupuks?
Yes, a lot of new faces, because the Sevens boys didn't do quite well. So what these guys are trying to do is elevate the status of rugby in the region. And with boys from Malay and from centres outside of Port Moresby, and of course, Brisbane-based boys coming in, the team is looking promising, and we've got boys like Richard XIII. We've heard quite a lot about him over the past couple of months. He's been in and out of the country for trials. Bradley Kelagai and Ravi Namliu Jr., so Sir Ravi's son.
Okay, Nigel Guinea as well.
Yes, Nigel will also be joining the team, but then again, the team hasn't been confirmed yet. So this weekend was the first trials for Port Moresby-based players. Next weekend will just be more trials. And we should see a team being confirmed in the next few weeks.
Awesome.
And they will then head into camp for the Foro Cup.
How good are we looking? Who's going to be our main threat in competition during the Foro Cup?
I think Cook Islands and Samoa, of course. They were our biggest threat in 2013.
Fiji? Fiji already qualified?
No, Fiji won't be in the Foro Cup. They weren't in it last year, so.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But speaking of rugby, we've got the Four Nations Bledisloe Cup as well, and the Rugby World Cup. Sorry, Jeremy, it doesn't interest you.
No, it does, because there's going to be a Wallaby tour to Chicago, is that correct?
Yeah, just before the World Cup, they're playing their final match in Chicago, which I'm hoping to go, so I hope my parents are watching this.
And now a bit closer to home, the Prime Minister's 13 will be happening next month.
September the 26th. And it will be held here in Port Moresby, guys.
Jeremy, you got some information on that. Why don't you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, I was excited. Ran over to the PNG RFL office, had a chat with Sandy Suckers, the chairman for the PNG RFL.
Okay.
In fact, here's what he had to say about the test match, the PM's 13 on the 26th of September.
Should be a big game. We're expecting the Australians to send a good contingent up made up of players that will not be making the final 8 of the NRL Premiership. So we'll know the makeup of the team by the first week of September. We're hoping to announce PNG PM's 13 squad after the week of confed trials and the Digital Cup Grand Final, which is the week leading up to the weekend of the 5th and 6th of September. So it should be a cracker of a game. It'll be here at Port Moresby at the new Sir John Guy Stadium. We're hoping for a night game, so it'll kick off at 7 o'clock. So it'll be a big game for us.
Yeah, and also, will the Hunters players be playing in the Prime Minister's 13?
No, unfortunately not. But the reason being, they've got their finals going on in the Intra-Super Cup at around the same time. So this gives an opportunity for a whole host of new talent to make it in.
I think it will be a great opportunity because, you know, as much as we love our rugby league and the SB Hunters, you know, the team that represented PNG in the Rugby League Nines, a lot of people were complaining, you know, why is it made up of just the SB Hunters? Yes, they're the best, but then again, it just overshadows our Digicel Cup players and doesn't give them the opportunity. So to have, you know, players from the Digi Cup and other avenues come represent Papua New Guinea in the PN13 will definitely be good for rugby league in Papua New Guinea because it will then showcase that we do have, you know, this massive range of players from across the board, not just from the Intra-Super Cup.
So a great opportunity there for our local boys to get up there and make us proud. And I'm betting this team will probably. Who's going to coach? Is that,
Not gone that far.
okay, that's okay. I'm hoping Michael Maroon does.
Yes.
Oh, well, if we have the SB boys,
No, but
SB
yeah.
Hunters
The SB
boys,
Hunters.
yeah, not being able to play, can't
Well,
lose their
everything.
coach.
Oh,
Well, what Sandy Saka said prior to that actual interview was that everything will be announced over the course of the next few weeks.
okay. You also met up with Gwaibo Mairi?
Yes, Gwaibo Mari is the chairman of the Southern Confederate, and the zone trials coming up next week, Southern Region, followed by the Northern Islands, all of that. And they'll be using that as a selection
So
base for that.
these will be trials
Yes.
held over in the next month or so, obviously,
Yes,
because
leading
we're in the
up
month
to
of
the
August.
PM13,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, so Jeremy, since you've mentioned it, I hope to see you traveling out to all the regions.
I would
Don't
love
be lazy.
to. I would love to.
Anyway, we'll take a quick break right now and we'll be back with more sports scene. Welcome back to the show. Now, our women's football team, best in the Pacific, they proved it during the Pacific Games, and our men's team did extremely well. Jeremy, first time to get a medal in football, is that correct?
Second, well, after 28 years, yes, a bronze medal.
A bit of a drought then to get a bronze medal again.
Big drought.
Big drought, but I wouldn't say they did extremely well. I mean, if you compare their performance to the women's team, that's not extremely well. They did perform.
No, but this is
seeing
better
as
than
though-
they've done.
Exactly, seeing as though that they haven't won a medal in over 2 decades. They could have done better, but, you know, a lot of pressure there because it was a qualifier for the World Cup.
Yeah.
Right, Jeremy?
The
for the
Olympics.
For the Olympics.
We
yes.
made it to the
Jumping
World Cup.
gun. Jumping the gun.
Too ahead of ourselves there.
No,
Yes,
well-
it was a qualifier for them, and unfortunately Papua New Guinea missed out, but we do have one of our Melanesian countries in Fiji. So that's
Yes,
an
we do.
achievement in itself, I guess.
Yes, it is. And this is the same Fijian side that took part in the Under-20 World Cup.
That's right.
Came over here for the Pacific Games. Could have taken gold, but
Our boys.
oh,
Our boys took runs from them.
yeah.
I think much of their focus was just
On
on
the-
qualifying
Yeah, they
for
just wanted to
Rio.
qualify for Rio. I mean,
Yeah.
So do you think they just qualified? They're like, guys, forget it. We're already going to Rio. Let's just
Yes,
let everyone else
actually,
win."
that's what really happened. That's what really happened
Really?
because leading up to the Pacific Games, they actually lost. They got trashed in a friendly in I think in Suva. I have really no idea.
You're the
which-
soccer guy, don't
Yeah.
look at me.
Capital of Fiji is sorry.
Uh-huh.
But they lost by about 5 goals to nil. Why? Because they were about to board the plane in 2 hours.
But then again, if you're going to be the
So
best in the Pacific,
Yeah,
why
that's,
not
well, that's one of the
go
things.
hard out? Like,
If you're going to be the best in the Pacific, then you have to maintain that level of
Exactly.
consistency.
Maintain your supremacy.
You want to win everything. But going on from that, just moving away from the Pacific Games, the next biggest thing that PNG can look forward to, the World Cup qualifiers.
When does that happen?
see, I told you it was coming. I wasn't jumping the gun.
Believe it or not,
Not bad. Give 5.
believe it or not, but the World Cup qualifiers for the Oceania region begin in the next month or so.
So all you football fans, a lot of football action happening.
Just one question. What are the chances for Papua New Guinea to qualify for this World Cup? And is it an under-23 World Cup or is it the senior
No,
World Cup?
this is now the World Cup itself.
Okay.
So we're looking at a couple of players from the
Junior
team that represented PNG during the Pacific Games, who could be filtered into the
Who
senior
Now-
do you
men's.
think would be filtered?
Okay,
into
wait.
the
Before we get together, one question. Now, over the years, for football in the Pacific Games, it's been a senior men's team. This time was the under-23 team where we won a bronze medal
Yeah.
after 26 years.
28
years, sorry.
Okay.
Do you think we'll have, because you know the other Pacific Island countries might have a better senior team? Do you reckon we have more of a chance with a senior? I mean, a mixed team with both the seniors and juniors, or just with the senior and open men's team?
Can I just comment on that?
Yeah, go
I'm
ahead,
not
go
the
ahead.
I'm not the soccer
Go ahead,
guru
go
here,
ahead.
but we've done a lot of NSL.
Yep.
I've popped over quite a few times, and earlier in the year we spoke about NSL on Sports Scene, and many of the guys that we were talking about were actually under 23.
Yeah.
A lot
So
of them.
Yes.
I'm not too familiar with the senior men's soccer
Oh, well,
team.
you have the Darben
Well,
Yaba,
you've got,
the guys from the Lake City Dwellers.
You've got Nigel and Raymond, Dabinyaba.
Gunemba?
Yes, actually, I pronounced the name wrong. But anyway, you've got Dabinyaba, Gunemba, David Muta,
Yeah.
all right. Kema Jack's hoping to finish off his career. We've got a whole host of wonderful football players here in the country. The
Then,
the under 23 squad
Yeah,
is
going back
good,
to what I was
but
saying,
they didn't have
we've
that
got-
much traveling experience.
We've got like I said, NSL. We've got a good number of younger guys that we featured,
Yep.
and that can match, the style of play that our senior guys.
Well, there was a question that you asked who could be filtered in. I'm thinking definitely our goalkeepers, both of them, Charlie and Ishmael. Yep, they are good enough to make it into that senior national lineup.
I thought both goalkeepers played quite a vital role in the Pacific Games.
Yeah,
they
they did.
saved
Look,
a lot of goals there.
Apart from the slip that Charlie had that
Yeah.
cost us that 1-0 loss, and Ishmael Pollard did have an issue. He did come out earlier, conceded about 3 goals on his own. But apart from that, you have to bear this in mind. These are 20-year-olds. They're the same age as you guys.
I'm 20.
Okay.
22.
Close enough.
Okay. So the thing is, this experience with the Pacific Games would definitely have boosted.
Let's just jump away a bit from football. Taekwondo.
Taekwondo, yes.
Now he's talking again. What do you know about it? Can you say something about it before Jeremy continues again?
Yeah, so our PNG Taekwondo team is, speaking of qualifying for the Olympics, the PNG Taekwondo team is also looking to qualify for the Rio Olympics next year in 2016. What are your thoughts on that, guys? I mean, our Taekwondo team didn't do exceptionally well in the Pacific Games, but they do have some good skill there. I think they just, need to work on their preparations leading to an event of this scale, and hopefully we can qualify, because the more Papua New Guinean athletes we get into the Olympics, the better it is for the growth of sport here in the country.
And Taekwondo, I reckon we have a couple of good fighters. So
We do. Well, I actually had a chat with the head coach, Andreas Rutten, and here's what he had to say.
Very important, the development and the progress until then, that we pick the right team, get the right support from the government, from the Olympic Federation, that we get enough funding to really developing a team. My opinion on that is we have a chance to have 4 players in the Olympics next year in Rio. That is my game, that's my goal, but we need that great support. We need a little bit of financial support to get the guys a little bit overseas as well. Hope they can come back training with me down in Adelaide, because I got the intense training studio there, high performance studio, and a show that's just brings the players to a higher level. So that's my game, yeah.
And after the break, we'll bring to you some Port Moresby AFL action, so do not go anywhere. Welcome back to the show. Now, I was out at the University Oval where the Port Moresby AFL competition's happening.
This is, UPNG, is it?
Yes, the University Oval. Yeah, UPNG, fine. Okay. There's actually quite a few.
Sorry.
Yeah, but the AFL competition's underway. They're in round 10, and 4 weeks' time they'll be heading to the finals. And yeah, a lot of good. The two top teams that have been dominating for the last few years aren't doing so well, so it's good to see that a lot of the other teams are a bit more competitive.
Yeah, look, we talk a lot about POM AFL. What about AFL in other centres, you know, outside of Port Moresby? Because we focus so much on Port Moresby, but we fail to go like cover the outside centres. You know, if we've got a team that's put us up there and, you know, like all the way up there internationally, let's give them a bit of recognition there.
Well, they've got a development officer, Rex Lecker. He's, you know, good guy. You had a chat?
We caught up with him, Elijah and I were there, we caught up with him, and here's what he had to say about AFL PNG.
Operations manager, senior football operations manager for Port Moresby AFL. How has your season been so far?
Our season's been so good. Very big thank you to our major sponsors, XIII, under the banner of Kinder Finance. We've got 10 teams participating in the seniors and the reserves grade, and we've got 4 women's teams in the season, so pretty looking good.
Now, how many women's teams?
We've got four women's teams for this year, and we're hopefully moving up to 6 or maybe 10 by next year.
So how do you think you can bring more girls into playing AFL?
Yeah, what if some girls out there interested in getting a part and joining AFL, what can they do?
It's to getting the girls out here. It's a bit of publicity. It's like what we're doing here today. We've seen a lot of girls playing a lot of rugby and league as well. So we're trying to, it's so hard that we cannot, bring the same girls to play both sports at the, around the same season. So we're trying to move out into schools. We're basically working on to the junior football at the same time, so hopefully we should be able to get 10 teams up next year.
It's the finals. It should be interesting, and I'm looking forward to coming around and finding out more.
We're going to come around for the finals.
Definitely.
Yes, please be here.
We will be here. Thank you very much. Senior Operations Football Manager for the Port Moresby AFL. So if you don't have anything to do on the weekends, do come around and get behind one of these teams here and support Port Moresby AFL.
So it was great out there. Now, AFL wasn't included in the 2015 Pacific Games, so as Rex did mention, they're hopeful that it will be included in the 2019 Pacific Games in Nuku'alofa, Tonga.
Yeah, look, going back to like what I said before, it's one of the most successful sports here, so I think we should really push for AFL to be included there. And it's quite big in the Pacific as well, not just Papua New Guinea, so it's definitely a growing code.
It's definitely a growing code, and because it comes from Australia, I reckon that they'll be more than happy to increase the awareness around the Pacific region, and I reckon having in the Pacific Games will be a big boost for the code, and since we're so good, I reckon it'll just elevate us.
Since we're so good.
We are really good in the Pacific.
Very
and in the world.
Yeah, we just
our biggest
won gold
our biggest
last year,
our
so
biggest
in the world.
competition's Ireland, and they have Gaelic football, so I reckon we're doing extremely well, and full credit to the Mosquitoes, and they have a really good junior development program.
Yes, they do.
That's why we produce really good results. And just mentioning a little bit on that, that is the key, I reckon, to a lot of our successful teams is the junior development program. Identifying talent at a really young age and
not just identifying it, building it. You know,
Yeah.
they have that pathway, that platform there.
Identifying and then, enhancing the skills.
If you talk about development and identifying talent at such a young age, let's talk cricket and AFL, because they have one of the most successful development programs.
And the other sports as well.
There've been talks that we need to have academies all over the country, and not just in 1 or 2 different codes. We need to have it all across the country. If we're going to perform at an international level, now is the time to start in order to see, you know, the results in a couple of years.
We're talking academies. We've already got the High Performance Training Centre, and they are looking to expand.
Yes, yeah.
So that's good, and like definitely, academies will be good for not just the expansion and the growth of all these individual codes, but for the development of sports in the country.
And now that Sporting Minister Justin Chichanko did mention that he wanted Port Moresby to be the sporting hub of the region. So I reckon, you know, if we have a lot of, how do I put this? If we have attract a lot of sports to the Pacific, to Port Moresby, you know, this will, you know, give everyone an opportunity to see like the best in the region compete and be like, I want to be a part of something like that. So
yeah, but the thing is, I did ask Justin about that. I said, why do we have athletes flying all the way in from outside of Port Moresby to come here away from their families for like 9 months?
About to say, okay, it is going to be great for Papua New Guinea and sports in Papua New Guinea to have Port Moresby be the hub of sports in the region. But then again, we don't just have athletes here in Port Moresby. They're filtered from, you know, other regions. So why not, you know, like Jeremy said, create academies or centers there that take care of athletes there. So, you know, whenever something happens, they don't always have to travel into Port Moresby for so long.
Cool. Maybe you guys can organize that when you guys become the ministers for sport. Okay, we'll just take a quick break.
It's a fair enough debate. I mean,
okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
fair
it's
enough.
an argument that needs to be put out there.
Definitely. So. Minister Lorraine and Minister Jeremy. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back with more Sports Eve. And welcome back to the show. Now, just a quick wrap of NRL. The Broncos faced a loss against Manly. Now, that is a shock.
You know, Dion had to cry about this during the break because he
No,
really wanted to
actually,
talk about it. So yes, it was the biggest upset in the NRL for 2015. The Broncos lost.
The Broncos,
you know, they won 8 games in a row. The Manly Sea Eagles put an end to their winning streak.
I didn't say it was the first time.
They lost a couple of weeks ago as well.
But they're at the top of the ladder, so.
How did the game go?
This is a great game. Manly just outplayed the Broncos, and it was a bit of a shock.
Well, the Tigers beat the Melbourne Storm
That's
as well.
the other one I was trying to make mention
I think
about.
one of the, well, I rarely ever watch NRL, but one of the best games I saw was the Cowboys. They made
a comeback.
That comeback was halftime. I was thinking, oh my gosh, these guys have won, 10 games in a row. Are they going to lose this one? And they were just a totally different team come second half.
They are. My tip for the top 4 to watch out: Broncos, Cowboys, Roosters, Storm. Those are my tips that I reckon.
Sean Johnson's injured.
Sean Johnson plays for the Warriors, so.
Good try.
No, but he is injured. The Warriors, how
saying.
come you haven't included them in the top 5?
Okay, Jeremy, you need to watch a bit more NRL. Now,
I really do.
Moving on from that, Ryan Pinney, PNG's very own golden fish, including Sam Seggers.
The PNG swim team, obviously led by Ryan Pinney, Sam Seggers, Barbara Vali, Tegan McCarthy. They're all in Russia at the moment. So they haven't had any rest from the Pacific Games.
Straight into competition again. So we're wishing them all the very best. We're all right behind you guys. Also, the Netball World Cup.
Yes, it's happening in 4 days' time. Unfortunately, Papua New Guinea missed out on that, but we have Fiji in the Netball World
Fiji
Cup
and
Samoa. So
we're wishing our sisters in the Pacific
to look out for, and it will definitely be good to see how they perform there. You know, they did quite well here in the Pacific Games, and they weren't the A team.
Yeah,
but
so I reckon it's going to be really interesting, and I really want them to do extremely well. Now, Pacific Games, guys. We were reporting during the 2015 Pacific
What's
Games.
going to happen in 2019?
2019, I'm telling these guys, what's your plans for 2019?
Guys, it's a bit of a joke at the moment, but I've been telling everyone, like, you know what, 2019, I'm not going to be stuck behind this camera. I'm going to be a part of Team PNG, and I'm going to be an athlete. I don't know for what sport yet.
Now, Lorraine,
volleyball maybe.
You come from a star-studded family, and they're all pretty awesome. Even your little sister's an avid netballer. What about yourself?
Well, she's really good in touch rugby.
Okay.
So, like, yeah, they all play rugby. So I'm thinking of joining, the rugby team.
So
so, like, defense, I'm gonna, like,
so
come
guys,
and
watch
register
out.
my interest.
Lorraine's gonna play. What
and
about?
I don't look very athletic, but honestly, let's make a bet right now so everyone can see it. I'm going to be a part of Team PNG as an athlete for the 2019 Pacific Games. And Dion, you're going to interview me when I get there.
Okay, that's if I'm still
if you're not
reporting.
an athlete.
What about you, Jeremy? Jeremy's pretty old right now, so we're not sure.
He'll just be like an official.
Jeremy
for
might
like
have some,
soccer or something.
he might have some arthritis by then or something. What
he
about
already
you?
does. Come on.
Lawn bowls.
Lawn bowls. By the time the 2019 Pacific Games comes about, yes.
Jeremy will be playing lawn bowls. So,
hope to
guys, we'll just see. Just making sure.
No, but they have young people. They have very, very young people taking part in lawn bowls.
Yeah, stop making fun
But
of
you're as young as you feel, guys.
lawn bowl guys.
Anyway, thank you very much, you two, for joining me on this episode of Sporting. It's
You're
great
gonna have to stop thanking us because we're gonna be here.
Well, but
all
it's really,
the time.
but it's great to have you guys in after a while, especially
Thanks
you
to
two.
viewers. Thanks, guys, for joining us on Sports Scene tonight.
You can catch us on MTV Online and on Facebook. You can find us as well. You can join Scholar for Hotspot on Thursday evening for more sporting action. Till next week, thank you very much again, you two, for your time and for being with me now that you guys are going to be stuck with me. Thank you once
Thanks,
again.
Dion.
Thank you very much, everyone at home. You stay safe. Have a pleasant evening. Good night.